In the grand kingdom of Aurelith, Queen Meridia ruled from a palace of white marble and golden towers. She was wise, elegant, and known across lands for her decisions that always brought peace. But despite her beauty and power, she was called the Grumpy Queen. No one had seen her smile in years, not her servants, not her knights, not even her beloved daughter, Princess Lyra. The queen's heart, though strong, had grown heavy and cold. Each morning, she sat by the tall windows of her throne room, gazing at her reflection in the silver mirrors. "Why do people need laughter?" she would mutter. "It wastes time." Her attendants would bow silently, afraid to speak. Even the birds that perched near her windows stopped singing when she entered the room. The castle felt as though the sun never truly touched it. One chilly evening, as Queen Meridia reviewed letters from distant kingdoms, a cloaked traveler arrived at the palace gates. The guards almost turned her away, but her eyes glimmered like moonlight. She carried a small velvet box tied with silver thread. "I bring a gift for the queen," she said softly. "A gift that remembers joy." Intrigued, the guards let her in. When the queen opened the box, she found a delicate necklace with a glowing sapphire pendant. Its light shimmered like captured starlight, faintly pulsing as if alive. "It's just a trinket," Meridia scoffed. But the traveler smiled and whispered, "Only when the heart softens, will its true magic begin." Before the queen could ask what she meant, the woman vanished into thin air. That night, the queen placed the necklace beside her bed, pretending not to care. Yet, as the moonlight touched the sapphire, a soft hum filled the air, a melody that tugged at her heart. For the first time in years, Queen Meridia dreamed of laughter, sunlight, and her young daughter's giggles echoing through the halls. The next morning, the ocean was restless. Dark clouds above dimmed the light below, turning the sea into a shadowy maze. Arya and Taro set out from Coral Luna, guided by the glowing runes that had appeared in the archives. The trail shimmered faintly in the water like a ribbon of moonlight, leading them toward the northern trench, a place whispered about in fear among the merfolk. It was said to be cursed, home to forgotten spirits of the deep and guarded by an ancient creature that allowed no one to pass. Yet Arya felt no fear, only determination. The locket hung against her chest, its light pulsing softly like a heartbeat, as if it too knew the way. As they swam farther, the water grew colder, and the colors of the sea began to fade into grays and blues. Strange shadows drifted by, fish with translucent fins and eyes like crystals, watching silently as the two merfolk passed. The seabed below dropped into a vast canyon, swirling with thick fog and faint golden lights. "This must be it," Taro said, his voice low. "The forbidden current." Arya nodded, feeling the locket vibrate faintly against her skin. "We're close," she whispered, but before she could move forward, a deep, echoing roar rippled through the trench. From the fog emerged a massive silhouette, a leviathan, a sea serpent with scales that shimmered like obsidian. Its eyes glowed an eerie gold, and its voice rumbled like thunder underwater. "No merfolk may cross," it growled. "Turn back, or be lost to the current." The water vibrated with the force of its words. Arya steadied herself, though her fins trembled. "We seek the sea mirror," she said, her voice soft but firm. "It's important, to both worlds." The Leviathan tilted its enormous head, studying her. "That mirror brings balance, or ruin," it murmured. "Many have sought it. None have returned." Taro swam protectively beside Arya. "Then let us be the first." The Leviathan's eyes narrowed, its body coiling like a storm. For a moment, it seemed ready to strike, but then the locket began to glow brighter, casting light across the creature's scales. The Leviathan froze, then lowered its head. "That light. I have not seen it since the mirror's keeper fell silent." Its tone softened. "If the locket has chosen you, then the current will obey." With that, it opened its massive jaws, releasing a swirl of golden bubbles that formed a glowing tunnel through the trench. "Follow the current. But remember, the sea mirror reveals truth, even when truth wounds." Arya nodded in awe. Thank you, she whispered, bowing her head. As they entered the tunnel, the water began to shimmer around them, carrying them faster and faster through twisting caverns and glowing reefs that looked unlike anything she had ever seen. The sound of her mother's voice echoed faintly in her mind, warning her of danger beyond Coral Luna, but Arya knew there was no turning back now. The truth of the locket, the human girl, and the sea mirror waited ahead. And though her heart raced with fear, it also burned with hope. That night, the stars shone brighter than ever before. Ava lay in her bed, wrapped snugly in her favorite blanket, her mind swirling with thoughts of Moro. Through her window, she could still see the gentle curve of his tail resting near the fence. Every so often, he let out a soft snore that made the wind chime on her porch tremble lightly. It comforted her, like a lullaby from another world. She closed her eyes, feeling the night wrap around her like a soft cocoon. And that was when the dream began that in her dream, the air shimmered with a golden mist. Ava found herself standing in a wide valley filled with glowing trees and shimmering streams that sparkled like liquid starlight. Strange, beautiful creatures, some with feathers, others with tiny wings, wandered peacefully among the glowing flowers. The air was warm and carried a deep hum, the same kind of sound Moro made when he purred. Ava realized this wasn't an ordinary place, it was where Moro belonged. She walked through the valley until she saw a group of dinosaurs resting beside a crystal lake. They were all enormous but gentle-looking, their colors soft like watercolor paint, lavender, pale green, and rose gold. One of them lifted its head and looked at Ava, its eyes kind and familiar. "You found him," the creature's voice echoed inside her mind, not through words, but through feeling. "Our friend Moro. He wandered too far in his sleep." Ava looked around, amazed. "He's not lost anymore," she said softly. "He's safe with me." The air shimmered again, and a swirl of light wrapped around her like a hug. The other dinosaurs bowed their heads, and the valley's glow grew even brighter. "You have a kind heart, little one," said the same voice, "but the world between dreams and waking is fragile. When the moon is full, his path will open again. You must guide him home." Ava nodded, her heart both full and heavy. She didn't want to say goodbye, but she understood. The light around her dimmed as the dream began to fade. The valley, the lake, the glowing trees, all slowly dissolved into the quiet rhythm of nighttime. Ava felt herself floating gently back into her bed. When she opened her eyes, dawn was just breaking. She sat up quickly and looked outside. Moro was awake, blinking sleepily at the morning sky. When Ava ran to him, he lowered his head, and she hugged his snout tightly. "I saw where you came from," she whispered. "And when the full moon comes, we'll find your way home." Moro rumbled softly, his golden eyes glimmering with trust. For several peaceful days, joy returned to the palace. The queen began walking in the gardens each morning, smiling at her people and even sharing meals with Princess Lyra again. The castle's halls echoed with music and laughter, something it hadn't heard in years. But the sapphire necklace, though beautiful, was changing. Its gentle glow now flickered unpredictably, and sometimes it grew cold, like ice pressing against her skin. At night, Meridia would wake to whispers that curled around her like smoke. "Happiness must be balanced," the voice murmured. "Light does not live without shadow." One night, unable to bear the eerie chill, the queen removed the necklace and locked it inside her jeweled cabinet. Yet as soon as she stepped away, the gem's glow flared with a strange, violet light that spread across the floor like mist. The torches dimmed, and shadows stretched unnaturally long. From within the mist came a faint shape, a reflection of herself, cloaked in darkness, her eyes cold and hollow. "You cannot cast me away," it hissed. "I am the grief you denied." The queen stumbled back, her heart pounding. "What are you?" she demanded. "I am what you buried," the shadow answered. "The sorrow that made you cold. The pain that made you grumpy. You cannot find joy until you face me." Before she could respond, the figure lunged forward, merging into her like smoke. The queen fell to her knees as memories flooded her, her husband's death, the endless lonely nights, the guilt of neglecting her daughter. Tears streamed down her face as the necklace, glowing through the cabinet door, pulsed in rhythm with her heartbeat. The next morning, Princess Lyra found her mother pale and trembling in the throne room. "Mother, what's wrong?" she cried. Meridia looked up weakly. "The necklace, it's no mere gift. It holds my sorrow, and my joy. I must face the darkness it reveals, or it will consume me." With her daughter's help, she returned to the garden where the magic had first awakened. The sapphire was cold now, its light dimmed to a silvery shadow. Under the setting sun, Queen Meridia took a deep breath and placed the necklace over her heart once more. "If my grief must live beside my joy," she whispered, "then so be it." The moment she accepted her pain, a wave of light burst from the gem, half gold, half blue, spreading across the garden. The air shimmered, and the shadowy reflection appeared once again. But this time, instead of fear, the queen reached out her hand. The shadow took it, and vanished into light. When the light faded, the garden was still and silent. Queen Meridia stood with her eyes closed, her hand pressed over her heart where the necklace rested. A gentle warmth spread through her chest, not the burning of grief, but the comfort of peace. The air smelled of blooming jasmine, and dawn's first rays painted the sky in pink and gold. When she opened her eyes, she saw Princess Lyra running toward her, tears glimmering on her cheeks. "Mother! Are you all right?" The queen knelt and wrapped her daughter in her arms. "I am, my dearest," she whispered. "For the first time in so long. I truly am." Her voice trembled with emotion, but her smile was bright and real. The sapphire necklace still glowed, but now its color had changed. It shimmered between blue and gold, a balance of sorrow and light. The queen understood its message, that to feel joy, one must also honor the pain that shaped it. In the days that followed, Aurelith blossomed like never before. The once quiet palace buzzed with laughter, music, and celebration. The queen began hosting garden feasts for her people, inviting everyone, from nobles to farmers, to share in the warmth of their renewed kingdom. She told stories of courage, hope, and healing, and the people no longer called her the grumpy queen. Instead, she became known as the Queen of Light. One evening, as the stars shimmered above the castle, Queen Meridia placed the necklace in a crystal case beside her throne. "Let it rest," she said softly. "Its magic has done its work." Princess Lyra asked, "Will it ever glow again?" The queen smiled knowingly. "Perhaps, when another heart forgets how to smile." The gem flickered faintly, as if agreeing. From that day on, it remained a symbol of hope, a reminder that even the coldest hearts can learn to love again. And so, under skies filled with gentle starlight, Queen Meridia and Princess Lyra lived their days in laughter and kindness. The palace that was once silent became a home of warmth, music, and light. And though the queen still shed tears from time to time, they were no longer born of sorrow but of gratitude, for she had learned the greatest magic of all, the strength of a healed heart.